Calico and Crypto here. Thanks for tuning in. I got a piece for you guys here regarding digital IDs and the dystopian future that we're going to be living in. Okay. A lot of you guys may not think that it's happening in the US, that it's only China that's, doing the digital ID and surveillance of its people. But I'll let you know towards the end of the video how it's really panning out for us here in the West, specifically the United States. Let's listen to what this guy has to say.
If you go to China, they're piloting it a few years ago in Shenzhen. So I lived overseas. If you go to Shenzhen, back in 2017, they already had facial recognition cameras there. So if you jaywalked in Shenzhen, they would immediately detect that and send you a notification. And they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account. They use two main apps, WeChat and Alipay. So you can actually deduct your money directly from your account. This is 4 years ago. So this is not like some sort of conspiracy theory. It's not something that's going to happen 10 years into the future. This happened pre-corona in China.
So just to add this in here, China has the most CCTV cameras of all the nations. Okay, they are monitoring their population. He said someone can jaywalk. The CCTV camera will lock onto the guy, do facial recognition through the digital ID, identify who he is, and then pull the funds out of his bank account. And his bank account is, like he said, tied to WeChat or Alipay. Funny thing is, Elon Musk is trying to create a similar version of WeChat with X. So keep that in mind as the years and months move forward. But that's just the name of the game. They have full access to your likeness and your banking information. Ain't that something? Let's continue.
And so this system in China that exists is extremely advanced. They can detect if it's a man or a woman. They can guess your age. They can detect what kind of car model it is, who the manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever. And people keep putting it off and thinking that this is something that's going to happen later in my kids' lifetime or my grandkids. It's already here. And if this gets implemented anywhere, especially in a Western nation, it's not going away. Israel is already talking about the fourth shot. Then they're going to be going to herpes, and they're going to ask if you're gay. They're going to be asking if you ate 3 pizzas this week because it's unhealthy. If you buy certain books in certain countries, your country doesn't like you. You'll lose points in the social credit score system. So this is already the reality of the world in certain places, and we need to be aware of that if we don't want that or if we do. And to be perfectly honest, anybody who wants this vaccine passport, it's a misnomer. It's total control. Everything you do or don't do will be calculated to the point where if they can detect your GPS signal, if you have a phone on you, they can detect who you're hanging out with. Oh, you're hanging out with somebody that said something bad 9 years ago on Weibo, okay, like a Chinese equivalent to Facebook or something like that, right? Oh, you lose 2 points. Oh, you bought Japanese books, you lose 5 points because you don't like Japan. This is what is going to come here because it's already there.
And we're doing that a little bit with contact tracing for COVID, aren't we? So that they can see where you're at and who you're with.
The simple reality is that the technology that CSIS has and all these big tech corporations, they already know where you are. It's just that they don't want to shock the system too much and admit that they have it. Edward Snowden revealed all this back in 2013. He fled to Hong Kong. They wouldn't keep him there, so now he's in Russia.
Yeah.
But the NSA has all of your information. They know your Google searches from like February 9th, 2004 in a bunker in Colorado.
Help me, Rhonda.
Right? They have all this information. So, but they don't, like in the US, they have the Fourth Amendment. They're not supposed to track you forever.
So some takeaways from this video. Number one, China is leading the quote unquote fourth industrial revolution. Okay, they already have their dystopian society set up. They can track you on cameras, know where you are. They have the social credit system, etc., etc. And for those of you that think that the United States is not going to follow suit, you have to understand they are building the foundation to do just as China. All right. If you look at the screen here, I have a list of some cities here that you may have been to, you may have seen or heard of: Chicago, New York, LA, Baltimore, Atlanta, DC, and Detroit. And those cities that I just named have the highest CCTV cameras, okay, which means they already have the foundation. They already have the CCTV cameras. And if you follow Chicago rap, which I really don't, but I did see a story about a guy named like Bloodhound Little Jeff, they have him on camera in some neighborhood getting into a shootout. You see what I'm saying? Just on a random street, they had a CCTV camera and they recorded the whole shootout. Isn't that something, right? How did they know it was him? Well, I guess they just identified him. I mean, they're not going to tell you how they knew. Maybe they're using facial recognition. I don't know, because he does have a record, I'm assuming. But it just goes to show you that the United States has the foundation to implement CCTVs across cities and towns where they can track the population. They already have the foundation. It's right in front of you. They have cameras everywhere. This list that I did find, though, is only listing the public CCTV cameras. You have to understand there are public and there are private sector surveillance. So who knows how many of those are out there? Okay. Like I commented on my last video, it's always the people that say, I have nothing to hide. Go ahead and take my likeness and my identity. Yeah, you may say that up until you're hanging out with someone that decreases your social credit score. In my opinion, the whole social credit score thing, there's a foundation for that already. And here's what I mean. Anytime somebody does something on the internet that goes viral and it's something negative, what happens? People find out where they work, tell their job about it, put their likeness all over the internet, and the person loses their job or gets fired or has to resign from a position, etc., etc. That right there is a form of social credit score. This person did XYZ, the populace does not like it, so we're going to do something about it. We're going to make sure they can't work anymore. We're going to bash them on the internet. And then what does that person do? They go online sometimes and issue an apology so they can quote unquote fix their social credit score, which doesn't really exist in the United States. But when you're canceling people and you're getting people fired because of their opinions and stuff like that, that's pretty much a social credit score, man. Now imagine if the government implemented that in the United States. On top of that, imagine if they implement you having to use your full name to get a social media account. You can't use any handles anymore. Like, for example, if you're on Reddit and your name is George Wilson, your name on Reddit will be George Wilson. Have your date of birth, maybe even your social. That means anything you post there, the government will be able to see it. If they don't like it, they'll decrease your social credit score. When you go buy some beef jerky, your card declines or your CBDCs decline. Okay, I'm kind of going deep into it, but you get what I'm getting at. The point is, digital ID and surveillance, the foundation's already here in the West, in the United States specifically. All it's going to take is some paperwork to sign it into law, and then before you know it, we're China 2.0. But that's all I got for you guys today. Please like, sub, share, hit the bell for more. Crypto's here to stay no matter what they say. Get those bags.